Hey guys, welcome back to week 3 of the Balance and Strength Yoga program. I hope these last couple weeks have been going really good for you, and I hope especially this last week you've actually had some time to kind of play with the postures, go through the videos and feel what works for you from day to day, and actually see how some days you really feel like you need to do certain postures or certain exercises, and other days that may change. And I just want to thank you for the time that you're putting in to actually continuing with your practice and doing what you can to kind of balance out work and life and your own practice and just doing what's best for you. Just keeping it consistent, because that's what's key. That's what's going to make the progress for you, okay? And as a theme, you're going to see that we are really just building on the foundation that we set up in week 1, and we're just kind of adding to that. We're modifying some of the postures, we're tweaking them a little bit here and there, giving you guys options how to work with them at home, and also just adding in a few more exercises, a few different movements into these practices, and really kind of help link everything together as you're building your strength and your balance. This week we're going to go over the standing balance postures that we did the last couple of weeks, and we're also going to continue with movement through those postures. But what I want to start focusing on now is as you lengthen up through your body and ground into the ground, you're going to actually create a stronger connection of foundation into the ground as you're trying to balance. And that's going to go as even for just walking. The more balanced and stable that you feel with each step, it really is going to make a difference on the kind of strain and taxing that you put on your joints and even your muscles. So building your body awareness and deepening your connection with what's going on in your body makes all the difference in the world, guys. Moving forward with Vrksasana, you're just going to lift your right heel, open the knee, hands to the chest, and bring your foot in and sink into that left hip, okay? Inhale, lift all the way up through the arms, out through the fingers. Then I want you to grab your right wrist with your left hand and lift it up. And as you lift it up, you see how my shoulder is releasing up? You know, a lot of times our muscles hold everything together and they pull it down. I want you to let it go. And exhale, release into that space. And then inhale, lift your foot. Lock that heel into your shin. And hold for 10 seconds, keep lifting. And then stay here, bring the knee in and push the heel out to the side and keep stretching that arm up. Feel that stretch in the side, stretch with the foot, and then pull the wrist out to the side, push it up, bring the knee up, and bring the hands down, back to Vrksasana. Exhale. Inhale, palms up, stretch out, expand your leverage space through your arms, and exhale, palms down, sink the elbows, and bring it in. Bring your hands to your chest, lift the left heel, open the knee, go ahead and sink into that right hip. Press your hands together as you inhale, lift the rib cage, lift all the way up through the arms, shoulders, out through the fingers, and grab your left wrist, lift it up, and lift up your foot, and exhale, keep lifting. Now this is the grounding that you're looking for. As you're lifting, your whole upper body is lifting up as the bottom half of your body is grounding down into the ground. This is what creates stability, and the muscles that support this posture are strengthening by holding this posture. Stay here, bring the knee in, flex the foot, lift the hand up and out. Pull that hand, stretch the side. Exhale and relax into that extra space. Inhale, pull Bring the knee up, bring the hands out, back to Vrksasana. Inhale, palms up. And exhale, stretch out. Inhale, palms down. Exhale, let it down. Again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to really try to feel the bottom half of your body grounding into the ground as the upper part of your body is lifting up. So the rib cage is releasing from here. You see my rib cage, it lifts up. The shoulder releases. And you want to feel the stretch all the way out to your fingers. And don't let your fingers just, be hanging out. It's good to be relaxed, but in this case, in order to really get this lengthening so that you're stretching and your body feels like it's connected to something, right? And that's going to give you this really strong sense of balance. And it's going to teach your muscles to support that line, that alignment. It's going to help you stay balanced, yes? Okay. Hands to your chest. Inhale, lift the heel. Out. Lift up. Grab the wrist. See the rib cage lift. Open the shoulder. Lift the foot. And continue lifting. So you don't want to be here. You want to get this. Yes. In and out. Bring it in and out. In and out. And bring it down. Good job. From behind. Good job, guys. This next sequence is fairly simple. It's beginning with our original knee hold. So as you hold your knee, you want to still feel that really strong grounding going through your leg as you're trying to lift the body up. Now that doesn't mean you have to lock the leg back, not be locked like this, okay? The knee should be soft, but still really feeling your weight dropping into the heel, going through the leg into the heel and the center of the foot as you're lifting the upper body up. So it's not so much like this, but it's lifting up. Then you're just gonna let go with one hand, grab the foot, and hold. Still grounding through the leg, lifting up, bring it up, and down. Easy, right? And then release, bring it up, and down. Now let's build on that sequence, okay? We're going to bring it up, hold, and ground. Release, pull the leg back, push the hips forward. Make sure this shoulder doesn't do this. Open it up. Then you're going to release, bring the hands in, flex the foot, and push. Yes. Bring it up and down. One more time, let's do the other side. Bring the knee up, flex the foot, ground that stabilizing leg. Release, grab the ankle or the foot, and bring the leg in, push the hips forward. And squeeze that foot up into the hips. Try to get the foot as close to your butt as you can. Push those hips forward. Release. Bring the foot up. Hands in and push. Bring it up and down. So try to take a minute out of your day, especially while you're practicing, and any discomfort that you're feeling, recognize that that's your body talking to you saying, I'm not used to you doing this. Do you know what you're doing? And just say, hey, it's okay. We got this. We're gonna work together. We're gonna work through this. And we're gonna accomplish more. Now you're just gonna bring your hands to your chest. Inhale, lift your right heel, point the toe, and I want you to step straight back. Put your heel back, look at your foot, and make sure your heel is right behind the toes. Most likely your body's gonna wanna help give you a wider foundation for stability, but I'm gonna challenge you to bring your heel out, because that's gonna stretch your Achilles tendon, and it's really gonna stretch your calf muscles too. And then this alignment at the hips is key, okay? This is actually going to challenge your hips and your hip flexors, your rotator muscles, all to really help you stabilize. And then when you're walking, when you're running, and you're doing what it is that you do during the day, those muscles are just gonna give you better, more stable support. So from here, all I want you to do is just stretch up and stabilize. Really ground into that back heel, reach with that front foot, and if you feel kind of wobbly, that can be normal, it's okay. If you really feel an intense stretch in that calf and in your ankle, it's okay to bring it in a little bit, but over time, you want to work on getting it back out here, okay? That way it really helps you maintain full range of motion in your ankle as well, okay? And really stretch up tall and try to drop your weight into this right hip as you bend into the front leg. And as you bend into the front leg, make sure your body is going straight down. And that way you feel this right hip flexor opening up, okay? Keep stretching up. Then you're gonna release the hands. You're gonna lift the rib cage, lift the chest, stretch with the chin, reach forward, and try to lay the body down on the front leg as much as you can, and then just look to the ground in front of you and reach forward, push off of that back foot, and lift that leg, flex the foot, and push up. Yes, and hold. Keep stretching out through the fingers, try to make sure that hip doesn't come up, keep it down, lift the chest. Hands out, bring it in, bring them back in, push. Yes, look familiar? Bring it up, all the way up, clasp, push it out, stretch that side, bring it in, Virksasana, out, of what do your hip flexors feel like? How do your rotators feel as you kind of move and rotate your hips around? Get to know them. It's okay to play around with this movement and rotation in the posture. Just know that as you're playing with it, this is what you're going for. This is where you're trying to stabilize, right here. And then lift up, inhale, and exhale, bend that front leg. And here you don't want to do this, because that's not going to get your hip flexor, right? So from here, go straight down and push with the top of this quad to get this hip pushing forward. Tell that quad to talk to that hip flexor. Let it open. And release the hands. Stretch the it down on the front leg, push with that back toe, reach forward, flex that back foot, and lift. Out, bring it up, in, and push. Bring it in, up, out, and down. Let's add one more step into your balance sequence this week, okay? Coming from here, take it back. Bring it up, flex, grab the other hand, bring it in, and stretch. This is gonna get into your glute. Push the chest forward, and the hips go backwards. Okay. Make sure the knee stays in place. Lift up and down. Now when you're here, come up, bring it out, push the hips forward, release, bring the foot in, grab, and what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to bring the knee over the toes. I want you to bring your foot here, press with the knee, lean the body forward, but don't do this. We don't want to drop the chest to reach the foot. We want to stretch for the foot. And then press the knee down, and then use the weight of our leg on the knee to kind of lock that knee into place and open it up. Now this is a really important posture to pay attention to the alignment of the knee. So we're going to do that one more time, and I want you to see the back and see the hips. Now let's just take some time to let all that work settle into our body and just stretch the muscles that we've been working with today. So whenever you're in child's pose, no matter what class you're in, just take that time to let your brain get inside your body and feel what's going on in there. go ahead and just kind of like travel around mentally in your body and just feel, oh, how's my back feel? How's my hips feel? I did a lot of work with my hamstrings. How are those feeling right now? Just let all of that settle in. Just come back up to your hands and your knees. Keep your hands in front of the shoulders and the knees behind the hips. So you don't want your knees too far in, and I don't even really want them right under your hips. I want them back a little bit and open them wide like when you were in child's pose. And I'm gonna have you take, let's start with your right hand and stretch out behind your left hand. Stretch across the floor. Just don't go straight down. I want you to stretch out across the floor and lay on the back of your shoulder and reach with your left hand over your head. Press on the floor and use this leverage to open up. Now you may be here in the beginning because your shoulders may be really tight, and that's all you need if you're here. That's fine, okay? Just hang out here and let it feel how it needs to feel, okay? Just settle into that feeling. If you can reach back farther and twist it around, try to see the ceiling, try to open up that chest and the rib cage. Try to get that twist all the way in the spine. And just breathe into it. Let it feel good. Don't make it hurt. Okay? Be nice to yourself. You're gonna hold it for a few seconds, so don't make it hurt too bad. Let it feel good. It's not a bad thing for your stretches to feel good. That's what we're going for, is for you to get to the point that you get into a stretch and you just say, whew, I needed this. I like this. And inhale, and relax, and unwind. Bring it up for a big cow. Exhale for a cat. Inhale, cow. Back to child's pose. Bring it back up. Let's do the other side. You're going to stretch with your left hand behind the right. Stretch all the way out and try to get all the way back as far as you can on the shoulder. Bring the right arm up and over and twist. Push into the floor with the arm you had over your head to lift up out of your shoulder. Be nice as you unwind. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Bring the toes under and inhale, lift for downward dog. Now in downward dog, what I want you to really look for is if you're really getting used to this posture and you're trying to get into your shoulders, don't let the shoulders collapse like this. So you're not trying to do a back bend, you're trying to lengthen. Okay, inhale, lift the right foot, push through that left heel, bring the knee in, bring the foot up, and now I'm gonna ask you guys to grab a set of blocks because blocks and straps are your friends, okay? No matter what your level is of flexibility, there's no reason to ever feel like, oh, well, if I use my blocks or my straps, then I'm not as good as I thought I was, because they're just tools and they're just gonna help you get into the posture a little bit deeper, okay? So in pigeon, what you're looking for is you don't want the foot underneath the groin. You want it to be out. So it's almost as if you sit down on that hip, bring it out to about a 45 degree for when you get up here. Okay? So bring it up, and then you don't want to stay sitting on that hip. you want to come up to where this hip is off the floor. And then what we're focusing right now is the hip flexor. So when you're leaning forward, you're not really flexing, when you're leaning forward, you're not really stretching that hip flexor. So that's what these blocks are gonna help you do. So they're gonna help you get the body up so that when you lift up, see both of my hips are coming up off the ground, now I can focus into trying to really get into that left hip flexor. Keeping my body as up as I can, I'm rotating into that hip and trying to push all my weight in there. You're gonna hold that for about a minute, and then you're gonna inhale deeply, and then we're gonna switch our focus to the glute of the right leg, and as we lean forward, you wanna try to get your belly down, then your rib cage, then your chest. Now, depending on your level of flexibility, as soon as you start feeling it in the glute right here, that's all you need, okay? It is perfectly fine to just hang out right here and say, I'm good. This feels right. This is where I'm gonna stay. Then after you stay here for about 10, 30 seconds, if you feel like you wanna lay down a little bit more, go for it. Let it feel yummy. And then eventually, you may get to here where you just want to lay down and let everything just fall in place. And you're going to inhale, walk your hands up, bring the left toes under, push into that foot to lift the knee, and then bring your weight into your hands, bring that leg back, and stretch it out for downward dog. Raise that left leg, push into that right heel, and bring it in. Bring that foot up, and take it back. Grab your blocks. Now see, when I'm getting into my hip flexor, my left hip is not all the way on the ground. And that's because gravity is my friend in this case. I'm using gravity to help push my body down, to help pull my body down to the ground. I'm using my blocks to push myself up so that I have more height above the ground, and then gravity works against that space. And gravity wants to pull me in the area of less resistance, in the line of less resistance, right? But that's not what I'm wanting, because then I'm not getting as much into my hip flexor on the right side. So lift up, and then I have to try to angle my hips into the right and use the leverage of your blocks, left and right, and twist and drop into that right side. Say, ooh, there it is. Yes. All right, and then we're gonna shift our focus to the left glutes now. As you try to reach forward with the belly, stretch with the chest forward, trying to lay the belly down on that front leg, and then just settle in. You can stay here on your elbows, on the blocks. You can come down to the floor, but what I want you to be mindful of is that it's not just moving your weight to the front, because as you move your weight to the front, it takes that weight off of the hip flexor, and then it transfers the focus to the other side in the glutes. But it's not this forward motion, it's a lengthening, always lengthening through that spine, trying to stretch the body forward, not just dropping down here. If you're really tight and you feel like you can't get down to this point, what you do is you keep stretching forward, and then you just stretch as far forward as you can without rounding the back, okay? So the first phase, stretching forward, if this is as far as you can go, and then you want to relax and then round the back, that's fine. just make sure that you do take the time to get in that lengthening through the spine, yeah? And if you can come down to the ground, just remember you want to keep stretching forward, always stretching forward. Trying to lay as much weight into that side as possible so you can really get in there. And you may even feel some stretch on the inner thigh and the adductors. That's good too. Push into that back foot to lift the knee, lift up, and stretch it out. Downward dog. Forward, open the knees wide, take it back for child's pose. And that's it for week 3, guys. So don't forget to do your closed eyes gauging of your balance and keeping notes of it, keeping track, seeing how you're doing with that as time goes on. And remember that some days you may actually be able to hold it longer than others, and some days you may just feel a little bit more wobbly. But just kind of be aware of what's going on with you that day, how you slept the night before, what you ate, and just try to see if any of those factors seem to be influencing it. Okay guys, so after your practice, I'd just like to encourage you guys, always just take at least 5 minutes. If you can take 10 or 15 minutes, even better. But at least try to make sure that you take out 5 minutes to just lie down, let that practice settle into your body. Just really kind of breathe in and feel the changes that you're making in your body, the areas of your body that are working the hardest, the ones where you're feeling change in, where things seem to be opening up and breathing more and feeling that yummy stretch. Yeah, and then just let that settle in. And let yourself feel good about what it is that you're doing. Breathing in fresh air, clean energy, circulating it through your body, and just being thankful. Yes, all right, you guys, keep up your practice. I know you're doing great, and I appreciate all the hard work that you're doing and the time you're investing into being the best you can be for yourself and for those that you love. Thank you so much for letting me work with you.